Okay, I'm Dr. Waite, and I guess everyone knows from previous lectures. Uh, Tonight's lecture is on nutrition and exercise. And in the 1918 flu pandemic, it was not only the hydrotherapy that made a change, but also nutrition, and also all the 8 natural remedies played a role in the change of the good results. Um, there's a concept of oxidative stress. This was discovered in the studies on the reversal of human aging, and it is an imbalance between oxidants and antioxidants when the organism is exposed to adverse stimuli. What we want to do is optimize the immune system while under stress, and not only that there's events happening before Christ's coming that people under stress, but also there's organisms out there that people are getting contact with, and that puts the body under stress. And then also even the hyped up news media regarding COVID-19 also can put people under stress, and this all uh, taxes the immune system and challenges it. Now, if the cell does not have the ability to combat the oxidative stress, the cell wears down and can die. On physiology and anatomy, your body is made up of all kinds of different cells. There's hair cells on the top of your head. There's brain cells inside your brain. There's heart muscle cells. There's muscle cells in your arms and legs. There's cells that has to do with the digestive system, the and various other cells, and all of these uh, have to combat oxidative stress uh, when the body is put under stress. Slide two. Okay, there is a concept of reactive oxidative species. These species result in mitochondrial change. Now, some understand cell biology if they didn't study that, but there is a mitochondria in the cell, and it manufactures proteins. Um, this oxidative species can result in mitochondrial damage, uh, autoimmune induction, pro-inflammatory signaling, mucus hypersecretion, bronchial constriction, DNA damage, cell death, tissue remodeling, uh, muscle dysfunction, impaired phagocytic function, and impaired steroid function. And some people may not know what all these terms are, but it all has to do with uh, damage to the cell and the cell's function. Uh, once the accumulation of reactive oxidative system or species exceed the removal of the oxide or this challenge, the balance between oxidative system and antioxidant system will be broken down, resulting in aggregation of neutrophils, inflammatory infiltrates, and the rising of protease secretions and accumulation of oxidation intermediates, ultimately causing tissue damage and inflammatory response and cell death. Well, let's just put it in basic human or common terms. Uh, there's the cell, if it has too much oxidants and not enough antioxidants, the cell cannot function, and the ultimate result is cell death. Virtually every known disease is implicated in oxidative stress. Slide 3. There are antioxidant vitamins, but it's better to get your vitamins from the food we eat and not to take supplements unless there is a known deficiency. The Human Nutrition Laboratory in Maryland has rated vegetables according to their antioxidant ability. Number 1 is actually garlic. Number 2, kale. Number 3, spinach. Number 4, Brussels sprouts. Number 5, broccoli flowers. Number 6, beets. Number 7, red bell pepper. And number 8, onion. Number 9, corn. And number 10, eggplant. If you have no allergy to any of these vegetables, it's a good idea to consume these, maybe not daily, but at least maybe once a week. There's been some double-blind studies done with garlic. There is a randomized placebo trial to investigate viral disease over the course of 1 year. In those in the group taking garlic, there was a 60% reduction in the amount of viral disease that they had, and 70% of them had fewer days once they got a viral illness. They had they were affected less days and less days off work. And if the garlic group got a cold, there was a fast recovery, suffering only 1.5 days off versus 5 days off among the placebo group. And then I gave you 5. Now, there's also they've rated the antioxidant fruits according to their ranking. And number 1 is blueberries. Number 2 is blackberries. Number 3 is strawberries. Number 4 is raspberries. Number 5 is plums. Number 6 is oranges. Number 7 is red grapes. Number 8 is cherries. Number 9 is kiwi. And number 10 is pink grapefruit. Again, you may not consume these all on a daily basis, but if you could rotate things around and have them at least once a week, it would really be beneficial to your health. Now, on the other hand, a high-fat diet has been shown to alter the microbial composition in the intestine by increasing the ratio of Firmicutes to Bacteroides. Now, you have friendly bacteria in your intestine, and you have unfriendly bacteria, and there's a ratio between the two. And a high-fat diet puts it over towards the bad microorganisms that cause disease. And so there, and what happens is there's a shift in the gut permeability, and you probably don't know what that means, but there's a syndrome called leaky gut syndrome. In other words, the food doesn't absorb very well, and you have a lot of diarrhea, and it results in malnutrition and poor absorption. And this it enhances the lipopolysaccharide levels, which induce systemic inflammatory disease. But the intestine is part of the immune system, and it has a great deal to do with your immune system, and what you eat in your diet influences your immune system, and it starts in the gut area, in the intestine. A high-fat diet induces alterations in gut microflora, which has been linked to overexpansion of the endotoxin permeability and promoting of translocation of gram-negative bacteria through cholesterol mucosa of the circulation and mesenteric adipose tissue. This is kind of a lot of medical jargon, but basically what it's saying is like I said before, you have friendly bacteria and unfriendly bacteria. And when you eat a high-fat diet, and especially a high meat and animal protein diet, it alters the amount of good and bad, and it makes more bad bacteria, and you're more susceptible to disease. And if you eat more of those vegetables and fruits that I mentioned previously, then you will have a more of a healthy bacterial flora in your gut, and you'll have a more healthy immune system. Slide 7. There's concept of probiotics. And dietary fiber is a substrate for intestinal microbes, and low dietary fiber intake leads to reduced levels of short-chain fatty acids. The association between low fiber diet and lower lung function has been described by the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which began in 1960 and is still ongoing. An increase in dietary fiber has been associated with a 40 to 50% decrease in respiratory-related deaths. Intake of soluble fiber decreases airway inflammation and improves lung function in subjects with asthma. Getting the proper dietary fiber is very important. And on how much fiber does a person get on a high meat diet? Answer is 0. Slide 8. Another important nutrient is zinc. It acts as a cofactor for many important enzymes involved in the proper functioning of antioxidant defense system, and also reduces inflammation. Zinc protects cells against oxidative damage. Zinc acts as a stabilization of membranes in part by suppressing copper. And zinc induces a synthesis of metallocyanides in reducing hydroxyl radicals and sequestering reactive oxygen species in stressful situations. Anyway, you may not understand all that, but zinc is very important to get zinc in your diet. Because of lack of zinc makes it almost impossible to fight infections, both viral and bacterial. Slide 9. Multiple studies provide strong evidence for the role of zinc oxide in the protection against oxidative stress in several diseases. Zinc suppresses or shuts down the replication of multiple viruses. There's multiple meta-analysis and pooled analysis studies of randomized controlled trials that have shown that oral zinc supplementation reduces the incidence of respiratory infections by 35%, shortens the duration of flu-like symptoms by approximately 2 days, and improves the rate of recovery. And I'm giving you the reference there. Now, there are foods that contain zinc. These are the milligrams of zinc, and the measure is 1 cup. There's black-eyed peas, 2.2 milligrams, hemp seeds, 9 milligrams, pumpkin seeds, 6 milligrams, pine nuts, 6 milligrams, cashews, 6 milligrams, sunflower seeds, 6 milligrams, pecans, 3 milligrams, chia and flaxseed, 3 milligrams, Brazil nuts, 3 milligrams. But if you can only get like 1 or 2 milligrams, you don't have to have a whole cup of this food. even have to eat a cup of each one. Let's talk about slide. Now we go to slide 11. Melatonin is a potent antioxidant. 6 milligrams daily decreases the cytokine storm. We talked about that yesterday, the cytokine storm that happens when you're challenged with stimuli, either stress or from a infection. Melatonin can be increased by early to bed and early to rise. Tryptophan is important for melatonin production. It's like the basic amino acid it's built upon to make melatonin. Tryptophan is found in black-eyed peas, black walnuts, almonds, sesame seeds, gluten flour, roasted pumpkin seeds, and tofu. Foods high in melatonin are barley, bananas, tomatoes, and ginger. Also rice, oats, cranberries, and pistachios. Now, physical exercise and oxidative stress. Like vigorous exercise, like in marathon runners, causes free radicals to be produced. 5 minutes of vigorous exercise actually damages DNA. Marathon runners have it shouldn't have an R in there. Have significant DNA damage of all immune cells, natural killer cells, neutrophils, and macrophages of the innate immune system. Moderate, less vigorous exercise can be healthy. Extracellular superoxide dismutase is induced by endurance exercise in reducing oxidative stress in various tissues. Actually, in my opinion, the best exercise is a brisk walk for at least 30 to 60 minutes a day or twice a day. The jogging can be more moderate, and yes, there's this. They're saying, oh, you have to get your heart rate up to a certain point, but you can do that in brisk walking if you do that. If you really try brisk walking, and there's less damage on the joints. If you're jogging, and especially on a hard concrete or a hard surface, it pounds against the joints, and the joints wear down. The major joints can wear down, the hips and the knees, and even ankles can wear down in repeated jogging. And I don't have the Spirit of Prophecy quote, but I think there's a Spirit of Prophecy quote where she advocates brisk walking as being the best exercise. Slide 13. There is such a concept as epigenetics, lifestyle changes in the genes. In epigenetics, if you adhere to all the 8 natural remedies, there's no alteration in gene code itself, but there's an alteration in the gene expression, and that can happen. You can inherit a gene of a certain disease, but lifestyle can alter the expression of that gene, and you can never have to get that illness. You could have both parents having diabetes and give you that gene, and if you did all the natural remedies, you may never get diabetes. And same for several other chronic diseases. And this is a real concept or thing that they found is epigenetic. Keep in mind. Slide 14. Now studies have now shown that this coronavirus attaches to the angiotensin converting enzyme 2. Now, let me just the it. Are you still there? Hello. Can you still hear me?
We can hear
Hello?
you. We're still here.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me, Brother Waite? Dr. Waite?
You do hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. These calls are not supposed to come in, but then they cut out what I'm doing. Okay, you can still hear me. Okay. Okay. So we were going on this angiotensin converting enzyme that changes the vascular epithelium. The kidneys continually monitor how much blood pressure you have. If your blood pressure is low, or the system says it's low when it's really not, and it'll release an enzyme which converts angiotensinogen, which is produced by the liver, and this goes to angiotensin 1, and then in various other tissues, and one of those is the lungs, it converts to angiotensin 2 by a converting enzyme. And this converting enzyme that is in the lungs, the coronavirus attaches to that, and then it alters the lining of the vascular system, and that's where you get a lot of infiltrates in your lungs and leaky and acute respiratory distress syndrome. The changes in the vascular epithelium is dependent on whether the person is on oxidative stress side or antioxidant side of the body chemistry. So a person that is having less oxidative stress and has a good diet, and also observing the other all the 8 natural remedies, they're going to be, whenever they get coronavirus, they're going to have less problems with the vascular epithelium and the clotting system of the body. Excessive high-calorie intake from either high carbohydrate or high fat diet will cause more substrate to enter into the mitochondrial respiration. Subsequently, the number of electrons related to the electron transport chain may increase upon reaching the threshold voltage. Extra electrons might back up with further donation to the molecular oxygen, which produces high levels of superoxide. Well, this is for people, I guess, that are medically oriented and also physiology oriented, that will know, and also biochemistry oriented, would know what I'm talking about. But for those people that, in simple terms, a good diet that's neither high calorie intake and high carbohydrate or high fat diet will put you on the side of the antioxidant side, and you'll have less. You'll be able to survive the challenge of coronavirus if it ever comes along. Slide 15. Oxidative species and subsequently leads to oxidative stress. The best dietary advice for prevention and management of obesity and other metabolic disorders include refined carbohydrates, grains, increasing fruits and vegetables, substituting total unsaturated fat with monounsaturated fatty acids, and consuming a moderate amount of calories with an ultimate goal of maintaining body weight. The monounsaturated fat is found in olive oil and also in avocado oil. These are more desirable than other types of oils. Exercise should be light to moderate and not vigorous. Short sessions several times a day are more ideal. And if anyone has any questions, let me know.
Yes, Dr. Waite.
Anybody there still?
Can
Hello?
you hear me, Dr. Waite?
Yes, I can.
We have a question from Sister Alice. She says, in reference to the best exercise, she was wondering about a person who's wheelchair bound. What would be the best exercise for them?
And they still have full use of the upper extremity?
I believe so.
Okay. There are bicycle sort of things that you can use with your arms, and you can do some exercises. It's like a bicycle for your hands instead of your feet. That's a good exercise. Also people that are wheelchair bound actually have, if they're in a manual wheelchair, they're using, you should have some gloves on, and you should also protect your hands and if you're using them to wheel your wheelchair. And actually, a lot of ones that are paraplegic actually have very robust muscles in their arms, and because they're not using their legs, and their muscles are built up in their upper extremity. Now, there are people that don't get much exercise because they're in a motor. Now, there are some that have to be in a motor one if they're like paralyzed from the neck down. But if they are a paraplegic and they have the use of both arms, then they should use those in preference to a motorized wheelchair. Does that answer the question, or they want any more information?
We says that is the case. He pushes his wheelchair daily, and he does.
Oh, good. That's good exercise. That's excellent exercise. Now, there's a lot of ones that are in a wheelchair, and they kind of sometimes overdo the calories, and they do get some extra adipose tissue in the gut or in the lower or the abdominal area, and that is whether you're ambulatory of arms and legs like a normal person and get fat in the gut area or in the lower abdomen area, or if you're paraplegic, it has the same risk factors for heart disease. And those people have more heart disease than people that don't have the fat in the gut area. And studies have shown that.
Okay, we also have a question here. It says, on the vegetables and fruits, will drying or cooking affect the antioxidant levels?
Drying usually will not. You can it's really dehydrating the vegetable. Now, cooking will alter the enzymes and also take some of the nutritive value away. So you should avoid as much as possible overcooking vegetables. You might have to warm them up or not have to eat cold, but you shouldn't overcook any vegetables because you do lose nutritive value.
So, like if I was making broccoli,
and fresh vegetables are better than frozen. What?
So if I was making, for instance, broccoli, I'd want it to be bright green, but not army green.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Right. That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gets, it turns darker color the more you cook it.
Yeah.
So stamen would be this.
Just as small as possible. Okay, are there any other questions or comments for Dr. Waite here? Well, Dr. Waite, we appreciate your time tonight. We look forward, and I especially look forward to your talk tomorrow night because it's going to be on something I need, and so I'm looking forward to that. And Sister Annika says, thank you very much.
Everyone needs that. That's this self-restraint, self-control. It all goes back to Garden of Eden. We wouldn't be in this fix if someone was like Christ that had perfect self-control.
That's right.
And we need him. We need Christ as our model for self-control. Now, of course, this is just a precursor to that. But if you had a brain tumor, would you want a surgeon to operate on you that he never had a successful operation? They all died.
No.
No. So if you want perfect self-control, why wouldn't you want a surgeon that has already had every successful operation that he's ever had?
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I'll look forward to later tonight. I'll listen to the sermon, and also I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. And so we're going to have prayer, and then we need to take about a 10, 12-minute break, whatever it is, till 7, to get the other program prepared and on the computer, and then we'll be having that. So let's kneel or bow our heads where we can and ask God's blessing and give him thanks. Our Father in heaven, I want to just thank you so much for Dr. Waite and his willingness to share. It has really been a blessing, the things that he has been able to share and the questions he's answered. And we appreciate his mode of operation here, the way he's trying to help us with this and giving us good instruction, and making us intelligent so that we can use the power of choice that Jesus will enable us to make good choices, to have the best health, and of course, the clearest minds possible to discern spiritual things, to know that Jesus is coming soon, to be ready for it. Please bless us as we get ready for the next meeting, and I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.